Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Chat Today Facebook Live series. Yes, I am Elisha Darkers, your super amazing host, and this is 10 Life Lessons with D. 10 Life Lessons with D. It has really been an amazing experience. This series has been super explosive so far. You cannot just think it. Yes. The last time was Dr. Danladi was here and he shared a lot of stuff. In case you missed that conversation with Dr. Danladi, I will encourage you to go catch that up. Like, it was explosive. I think one lesson he talked about that was so dear to my heart was when he talked about knowing you must have a source, your source of truth. He talked about having your source of truth, and also what service does to you, that service nourish the soul and faith nourish the spirit. Today we have an amazing speaker. I said speaker, no. Speaker, it will make it look like he's coming to just be talking. No. We have an amazing guest this evening here, and it's my dear friend and brother Zion. Zion, like, this is going to be another it's going to be another wow session with Zion. Zion is a man of multiple arts. Like, for me, I'm just excited. I'm very delighted to be hosting him this afternoon, and I'm open. I'm just here ready to learn from Zion. So let's okay. So yeah, he's here. Yeah. Hey, hello. We are seeing you like this,
Hello.
so yes, can you adjust
Okay.
it like
Hmm.
this?
All right, just give me 1 minute. Let
Oh,
me do that.
okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
make it straight. Can it be straight?
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me 1 minute. My PA is here. My wife, she's my PA. So she's helping me out. Okay, is it better
Oh,
now?
yes, it is good. It is good. So you just need to do
Okay.
one more thing. So
Okay.
there's a button down. It is, if you just
Okay.
check down, there is a button. That's the share button for you to share to your page so your friends can
Okay.
watch.
Okay. 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 Great. All right. All right. Share to minutes. Okay.
Have you seen the button? The share
Yeah, I'm
button.
typing. Let me just quickly say
Okay, no
join
problem. Take your
us
time.
on this informative session. All right. Perfect. I think I've done that.
Okay, so we are good to go. Hey, Zion, Zion. Is
Yeah,
Zion
yeah.
Emmanuel? Like,
Can you
I'm
hear me
seeing,
clearly?
I can hear you loud and clear. Like, I'm seeing you. I did not feel form. Ha! I'm supposed to come and collect form from your PA like this. So,
Uh,
hey.
no, when we are done, we'll send you an invoice.
Oh my God. Oh, see, my heart just a big.
No
No,
need, no need
Allah.
for that. Thank you so much. Pretty D,
Yeah,
how are
yeah.
you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Hmm, I'm
So
awesome.
we before we start like serious conversation, let's just lighten up a
Okay,
little bit. So tell us one
no
fun
problem.
fact about you. One fun fact about it that people don't know. That most time when people get to find out, they'll be like, "Ha! Hey, are you sure? We don't believe it." So tell us that thing.
Yeah, I'm introverted. People
Ah,
don't people don't believe that about
even
me.
me, I
Uh-huh.
don't.
Even you,
Now, like, even
even me, I don't believe
introvert.
myself.
Ah, yeah, it's like what informed
Yeah,
that
so
information.
I think I got to know that recently even. I used to think I was this extroverted person until
Introvert.
I found out that I love my space. You know, extroverted
Okay.
people, they are just all over the place. Even when they are alone, they still want to look for a way to get someone to just talk to and just light up the place. But I found out that I could be of course, I could be sociable when I'm with people, but then I am still withdrawn. I'm still, I just love to enjoy my space. So if I'm not really having a conversation, I can be as quiet as you can't imagine. So
God,
I just feel, I just described I'm introverted. Yeah. So
this is
kind of, okay, let me just use the word
how
ambivert. But I think I'm seeing myself as more of an introvert than even an extrovert. Trust me. Maybe it's exposure, maybe it's maturity. I don't know, but then I just feel that's does it.
the truth is, Zion, this one hook me. He hooked me for
It
a
shock
year.
you, it shock you.
Yeah, so it shocked me. It can't shock me. Like I don't know what to say. Usually I go very introverted, as in from where to where are we coming from? Is
Yeah,
that we are talking about?
it's strange
Anyway,
to people, and it's true. Yeah,
yeah, it's strange but true. I think
yeah,
I've heard that somewhere. Strange but true.
yeah.
So that's the story.
Mm.
That's the story of Zion. Strange but true. Is
So tell me
introverted.
one fun
So
fact about yourself. Remember, it's a
hey,
conversation we're having. So you won't be
okay,
putting me on
so
the spot, and then I'll allow you go free.
so it's not the spot something. So this thing is very funny. Ah, God, this is a global platform, but I will share it. So, like, I remember there was this day they asked us, you know, the way they ask people, what's your favorite food? And
Yeah.
it was a picnic, and most of the girls would just say fried rice. People would just come and
Mm.
say fried rice, jollof rice. When you got to my turn, it seems embarrassing, but I kind of said it. I said I love Gary with cold water,
Wow.
with milk, with plenty
Wow.
granola inside. Like I enjoy it. Like I enjoy it.
Wow.
And most time when I tell people like
Mm.
that's something that I enjoy. Like just Gary, yes, with milk, plenty granite. I remember it became a conversation and somebody was like, no, she's just trying to light up the place. And I remember then my very, very close friend, she was there. She was like, no, that's Dorcas for you. Like Dorcas could
Wow.
actually put that over rice. And they were just looking like, hey, this
Wow.
girl.
Wow.
Like
That's
I just
strange.
yes, that's strange, but it's true. Like I
It's
enjoy it.
true.
It's
Hmm.
something I love. Also,
I mean,
and
I'll
this
be
is
scared of coming to your house on Christmas Day because so that you don't, out of excitement for your own self, your family Gary
no,
and granuts.
no. It's just to me, just something I love. Uh, God,
All right.
I
It's
can't believe
beautiful.
you made me share that on this platform. Oh my God, please,
Yeah,
that
all
was
right.
not
So
me.
you
I
get
don't
my
like.
page.
I enjoy, yeah, I enjoy Friday. I enjoy that good too. But this is just something that is I love. Okay,
That's
anyway,
beautiful.
so this is 10 life lessons with D, and today I have my friend Zion. Zion is
Hmm.
here. Zion, I'm just so excited to have you. I'm just looking forward to the direction of this conversation. Steve Ugo, thank you for joining. I see you too. So Zion, 10 life lessons with D. So this is how it's going to run. I'm just going to give you the floor, you share your lessons, then we come back and we will engage on each of your lessons. So Zion, over
Okay.
to you.
Hmm. All right. So, thank you so much, Dee, for having me on this your beautiful platform. I mean, you're doing a great work. I've watched your consistency, and that's so important because you see, a lot of times we want to do so many things and then we're not consistent on even one. At the end of the day, we lose steam on all fronts. But then you're doing other things, but then you have picked one particular aspect and you have been consistent in it. And I must commend you. I must commend you for that. Well done. Well done there. All right. So once again, Happy New Year to you and to everyone who is joining us on this call. Thank you so much. And while I'll be sharing my life lessons, I would also want to have the viewers comment in this section as well on their own life lessons. Because for some of them, they would wish they had a platform like this where they could share with others, but then Dorcas does not know them, and I may not even know them as well. But then because of this call now, they are joining us. So let them also share their life lessons. I want to learn from their life lessons as well. I might not
Yeah.
see the comments here, but Dorcas, if you would be kind to read out the comments of these people, I would really appreciate that.
No
All right. So
problem.
drop your own life lessons, okay, as we go. All right. So first of all, let me just start by saying life in itself is a teacher. right? And people say experience is the best teacher. Yeah, experience is just a part of life. So life makes up the whole. So experience it takes its own fraction in this thing called life, right? So we have our mentors. They're also parts of the life. We have the problems we go through. They are part of the life. We have, money, our desires. Everything just takes its own part from this thing called life. So I think life is the overall teacher, all right? And then life teaches us lessons every day, and then not only does it teach us lessons, it also tests us. And just like when we're in school and we are still in school, we go through different lessons from our lecturers. And at the end of the class, the lecturer wants to know if truly we understood what he taught us. And then they give you a test. That's the same thing with life. Life teaches you, and then it presents you a test. And then after the tests come the rewards. Life will also reward you the same way you get awarded with certificates, you get rewarded with marks and all of that. That's the same way life offers you rewards. You see, but we see with humans, you get awards, and a lot of times we see how awards are being, abused these days, where people may just want doctors to give me something in the future, and then I will just come and give you something. I'll come and just go and meet one guy by the roadside and say, just do one plaque for me and put Dorcas's name and say, Dorcas is the entrepreneur of the year, just to, tickle your ego and fancy, and then you'll be so happy, and then you put it in your house and say, this is my award. And whether you are really deserving of that award or not, because I want to get something from you, I might just do that. Just out of ulterior motives that human beings have these days. So I don't get carried away by those awards, because anybody can get awards. I can even go myself and frame an award and lie to the public that I was giving the award. So people can do the unthinkable things these days, but not with life. For life, you cannot engage in eye service and expect life to just reward you. You must pay your dues. After you have passed the tests that life offers you, then life begins to reward you. It might not reward you after 5 years, it might not reward you after 10 years. For some people, it might reward you after 20 years. For some, it might even reward you in your generations to come, not even in your own lifetime. But just like a palm wine or a palm tree farmer who says, you know what, yes, I am in my 50s. I'm going to plant this tree. I might not live to see 55, but then I'm going to plant these trees all the same so that my children can reap from the harvest of what I have planted. That's the same thing. Sometimes life can say, you know what, okay, not you, I'm not going to give you this in this lifetime, but then your children and your children's children will come and reap from it. So with life, there is nothing like eye service. You pay the dues, and then life gives you the rewards. And then another thing we must understand is that I talked about tests, right? So life tests us in 3 basic ways. First of all, life tests us through problems. Every one of us experiences problems at some point, and there is no one in this world that is immune to problems. No one. And why does life test us with problems? So that we build capacity, so that our faith, even in God, is established, is solid. All right? That's number one. Life tests us with problems. Number two, life tests us with possessions. So sometimes, life just gives you some things that you may not even merit. Or you say, okay, you are there, say, you think you are humbled, right? Then life says, okay, someone just gives you 5 million naira without you doing so much. And then life begins to test you with that possession to see how you will handle that 5 million. Will you become so proud?
No, a rocky player.
Exactly. Something like that, right? So life begins to test you with those possessions as well. With cars, with jewelry, with material things. Life will test you through possessions. But then the most important one that life will test you with is with people. Life wants to see how you treat people, whether you will love the unlovable, if you show respect to those who are not even deserving of respect. A lot of times you hear people say, I don't like going out. I just like to be in my own space because I don't want to interact with people. Oh, you're just deceiving yourself. So long as you are in this world, you must interact with people. The only place you will not interact with people is in the graveyard. So if you don't want to interact with people, then just dig your own grave and just lie down there and let people cover you. Because life must test you through people. People will do to you the things that you never expected. They will betray your trust. They will hurt you. They will criticize you. you, they will scandalize you for no reason, and life will say yes. While you are crying and complaining that, oh, but this is so much, man, I cannot bear this. Oh, life will say, hey, that is me testing you. So number one, I said what problems. Number two, possessions. And number three, people. Yeah. And then life teaches us. I've not even started going to the lessons yet because I know we have time, right? So another thing life does is that the lessons that life teaches us, they are so simple, Dorcas. They are so simple, but it's just that we humans make them so hard. You know, we live in the part of the world where we think the simple things are not really worthwhile. They say, oh, this thing seems so, it sounds so simple to be true. Are you telling me that if I do this, I will get this result? Life says, yes, the things I teach you are so simple. I would like to tell people that, hey, life is so easy, just that we make it so hard. And then I still tell them that, okay, let's even assume life is hard. But why are we now making it harder? So we tend to say, oh, yes, life has done this, or life has taught me this. But unless someone is sharing, you are sharing your experiences with younger people, and they say, oh, no, a guy was expecting to come and give us some humongous words, all those gigantic words from a dictionary to tell us things about life. And you're telling us these simple things. Well, yes, they are so simple. You might choose to ignore them at your detriment. You might choose to just discard them to say, no, it's so simple to be true. At your detriment. And I'm one person that likes to, when I'm passing out the message across to people, when I'm speaking on platforms, I like to just bring out simple things. There's something Albert Einstein said that I learned from. He said, if you are speaking maybe to an audience of people, whether it's to professors or whoever, he said, if a 6-year-old is in that meeting and does not understand what you're saying, you're just talking nonsense. That was Albert Einstein, the great Albert Einstein. Yeah. So whatever thing you were saying to people, you try to simplify it as much as you can so that even a 6-year-old that is just passing by while you are even speaking to professors can understand what you're saying. So I had to write down the 10 things that life taught me. Of course, there are more than 10, but since we said let's make it 10, we'll make it 10. And the reason why I did that is because now I speak on so many platforms, right? I'm a speaker, and a lot of times while we are preparing for our sermons, our message, or all of that, some thoughts just keep dropping, and then you are writing them down. And then sometimes out of, we want to go and bamboozle, we want to go and tell the people that, yes, we don't have to do it with paper. We go there, and out of excitement, or sometimes out of anxiety, because yes, as speakers, we still experience anxiety on stage. And out of those things, we just miss out those basic points that we sat down and they dropped while we're preparing for the message. And then we come back from that meeting. We are not even thinking about the ones that we said are really blessed. We are thinking about that one that we skipped. And then we begin to flog ourselves. Yeah. If speakers are on this call, they will understand what I'm talking about. You go home and say, oh, why did I not just say this one? This one was supposed to be a banger. Why did I forget? All because you forgot to write it down. A wise man said, the faintest ink is still brighter than the sharpest memory. And that's so true. So I quickly had to write it down so that I will not forget. So the first lesson I'm going to be sharing is this. Now, I've said this on several platforms in my speaking engagements that while I was growing up, I didn't even know, after my secondary school education, I didn't even know what I was to do in life, right? I was just roaming around. After all, I just come out of boarding school where there were so many kinds of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly from various backgrounds. And I had lost touch with the seriousness that I went to school with. I started roaming around with bad guys and all of that. So after secondary school, everybody went back to their parents' homes. But then I was alone. But because, I had lost my direction, I was just alone, not knowing where to turn next. The only thing I was just waiting for was admission. And I stayed at home for about 4 years before I got admission into the higher institution. But something happened during that time that defined my life today, that defined what I have accomplished in my little life and what I am still accomplishing, right? My dad had a library of books. My dad never went to higher institution. He stopped at secondary school, but he had books. I don't know why he kept books in his library at that time. This is as far back as, I finished secondary school 2003. I'm not that old, Dockers, okay? Secondary school 2003. Yes. All right. So those who are watching say, okay, if you finish secondary school 2003, he must be in his 40s. Oh, that's your own business. Guess what you want to guess. Well, that's not really what's important, right? Yeah. So at that time, now, my dad worships with a particular denomination who had, they had a particular rule then don't have television in your sitting room. I'm sure some of you will be able to guess the denomination, right? And so maybe instead of decorating his sitting room so that it would not just be left bare, he put books there. All right. So there were kind of, I think the books there should be maybe up to 100. And I'm sure he just put them unconsciously. But then every day I would clean, while I was going to school, I would always clean the shelf. It was a glassy kind of shelf. I always clean the house, and I never cared about what was inside the shelf. Until while I was waiting for admission and I was so bored, I just thought, okay, let me now look for something that will keep me company. And then one day I just went to the library, opened the shelf, and then I picked a storybook and I started reading. And I was enjoying the story. And while I was enjoying the story, I needed to enjoy it more. But then there were some big words that you would find in all of these storybooks. And in order to understand the words and enjoy the stories much better, I would now take his dictionary and look up those words. And while I was doing that, I was now developing myself. Now, for me, it was like fun, but life was developing something in me that I was not aware of. It dawned on me when I finally got admission into the higher institution. And at some point in my life, I was appointed news editor in my school. And I was a science student. I was reading electrical engineering, but I was editor. I was telling mass communication students how to write and edit and read news. It was kind of strange to them, like how would an electrical engineering student be telling us how to do it? But they could not deny the fact that I was good at editing, at writing all of that news, right? All because some years ago or some years before, life had developed something in me, developed the passion to read and also how to present myself, how to, bring sentences together, how to know when to use present tense or past tense, and not use past tense for present tense, and all of those things. So that was life. And then I realized from that life taught me a very big lesson. That my dad did not leave toys for us because he couldn't even afford toys, right? Yeah. Other children had toys in their houses, in their rooms. My dad couldn't afford toys for us. But what he left in us was much more than what others left for their children. So what you leave in people is much better than what you leave for them. Life, yes, because what you leave for people will always fade away. The toys that my mates played with years ago, or when I was that age, I'm sure they are no longer playing with those toys today because they become obsolete. Yeah. So when I see a lot of people spending so much money on buying jewelry and clothes and all of this, now it's not a bad thing, right? But first of all, have you invested so much in yourself, or are you just investing things for what others see around you? Some years ago, where the big boys were those using Motorola phones. Today, where are Motorola phones? The bigger boys were the ones using BlackBerry. Where are the Blackberries today? And then the Android phones came, and today it's now iPhone and all of that. But you see, at every time, at every passing time, those gadgets are fading away. Yeah. But one thing that will never fade will be the intrinsic value that you're building. That thing that you are living in yourself. And life now has taught me that I should spend more on what goes on my inside than what others see on my outside. It's very important. That's what is affording me platforms today. That's why I can be on this call with you, because you saw something in me. But if I was investing on just cars and all of those things, at the end of the day, they will fade, and I would also fade with them. But because the intrinsic value has been built over time, I have invested so much in personal development and self-development. Now, all of these things have helped me so far in life, and they are still helping me. So that's number one lesson that life has taught me. And number two, life has also taught me something. And I also learned this from my dad. Remember I said that life could be your mentors, it could be your experiences, it could be the problems you're going through, it could be everything. My dad also taught me gratitude. I remember when I was still living with my dad, even the slightest thing you would do for him, he would tell you thank you. I mean, I've watched other parents who would say, after am I not the one feeding you in this house? Why should I tell you thank you because you washed my clothes? After am I not feeding you? My dad would not do that. My dad would, even if it's a cup of water you bring for him, thank you. And that would now motivate you to want to do more.
Yeah.
And then I learned that every time you have an attitude of gratitude, you begin to attract beatitude. That's my quote. You can put it down.
Yeah, let me put it down. Come again.
Every time you have, okay. Remember, I'm going to be sending you an invoice so that you pay me afterwards.
Yes.
So, an attitude of gratitude will attract to you beatitudes. What are beatitudes? They are blessings, the blessings of life, happiness, joy, peace. But all those come when you have an attitude of gratitude. And that's what life has taught me. That even for the slightest thing, be grateful.
Yeah.
I may not be where I want to be now, but I am definitely not where I used to be. So for that, I am grateful.
Bam.
And that has also come with peace of mind. Because I don't know, I don't know if I should say that I am the most peaceful man on earth. I don't have worries because I live every day with a sense of gratitude for what life gives. And now this is another thing that I've learned. A lot of times when we wake up from sleep, the first thing we're thinking about is that money that we have not yet gotten in our bank accounts. That meal that we have not yet gotten as a scholarship or fellowship or what have you. But what we also forget is that it's because you have the life. That's why you can even think that there is no money in your account or that there is no fellowship or scholarship being awarded to you. Can you be at least grateful for the fact that you have that life that makes you aware to the fact that you have even been disappointed before or that you're getting rejection mails? Can you also be grateful for the fact that you have this sound mind? It's because you have a sound mind. That's why you know whether you have money in your bank account or not. Are there not mad people roaming on the streets? Are there not people who got engaged in drugs and then they are in psychiatry ward right now? They don't know what it means to just bring things together. They don't know what it means to articulate. They don't know what it means to write a letter or an application to talk about maybe rejection or acceptance. That you have a sound mind. You should be grateful. What about the health that we enjoy? You see, just as I said, these things seem so simple. We just wake up from sleep and the next thing we're thinking about is worrying. Oh, what don't I have? Well, I don't have this one. We always think about the don'ts. We do not think about what we already have. And what we forget is that with an attitude of gratitude come the beatitudes, peace of mind. Unnecessary worry is no longer there. Because I also learned from life that worry doesn't change anything in a positive way. It even compounds it.
Yeah, it does.
That's why the greatest teacher on earth says, why should you be worrying about all these things that other people are seeking? He said they will just, the grass in the field, they don't even think about what to do, and yet they are being taken care of. The birds in the air, do they work? The answer is no. Yes, they are taken care of. So why should you be taking thoughts? In other words, why should you be anxious and you're worried over a lot of things? So life has taught me to be grateful for everything. That's number 2. Number 3, which is still like a build-up of number 2, we don't always get what we want. It does not make us failures. Neither does that make life unfair.
Say that again.
We don't always we don't always get what we want. That does not make us failures, nor does it make life unfair. It's just time and chance. It is just time and chance. A quick example, we all watched the World Cup that just ended. We saw the final match, right? Argentina versus France. Both of them wanted that trophy badly, like their whole life depended on it. Did they both get it? No. Would you say the one that did not get it failed? The answer is no. So we don't all get what we want. But yet, we tell ourselves we will keep pressing, we will keep moving, we will keep making progress. All right, and I think one of the reasons why sometimes we get frustrated when we don't get what we want is because we tend to define our success by what other people place before us, what society places before us. How dare the society define what success is to you? How dare the society? How dare people tell you that this is what success is all about?
This is what success is
from the pit
supposed
of hell
to look like.
That is what they tell you. That's supposed. This is what. Oh, Doctors has a Range Rover Sport, and I don't have a Range Rover Sport yet. Then I begin to tell myself that I'm a failure. How dare you think I'm a failure because I don't have a Range Rover Sport now? And then we begin to look at other people's possessions, begin to look at what people call success. And then we get frustrated when we're not meeting up to what they have placed before us as success. No. We don't always get what we want. And now that leads me to the fourth point, which is very, very important. And it's still in line with what I just said now. In life, we all win, but we win differently. Did you get that? In life, we all win, but we win differently. I learned this from my mentor, which is still part of life, right? And he was citing a case from the case study from the same Qatar World Cup that just ended, right? Saudi Arabia played against Argentina in their opening match. Yes, in the group stage, right? Their first match in the group stage, and they defeated Argentina. The question I want to ask you is this: did Saudi Arabia lift the World Cup trophy?
No.
The answer is no. But yet, these guys celebrated defeating Argentina to the point that the following day was declared a public holiday because for them that was a win.
Yeah, I think
they gave the players cars. I think a lot of phantom Rolls Royce and all of that. So why would you give them a phantom Rolls Royce? Because for them that was a win. They did not lift the World Cup, but they were still termed as winners. What about Morocco? Oh, did they win? Did they lift the World Cup? The answer is no. They made it to the third place, right? But because they were the first Africans to have made it to the third place final, they were called winners. They still did not win the third place. It was Croatia that won that. But when Moroccans were going back to their country, when they got back to their countries, they were celebrated because they were seen as winners, even though they did not lift the World Cup. And then came the final, Argentina versus France. France did not lift the World Cup. But when they got to their country, there was a heroic ovation for them because they were seen as winners. And then Argentina lifted the World Cup and they were still celebrated. Can you see that all of these people were celebrated, even though they were all in the game to achieve that one purpose, but they still won at different levels. Once you understand this simple but basic thing, you won't get so caught up in this rat race that people get involved in competition. Oh, because we all must win. No. If you are called to just educate 2 children in your compound, don't get distracted by those who are filling up stadiums and they are speaking to millions of people. For you, those 2 people is your own win. That's your win. Celebrate the win. It does not make you complacent. It just tells you that, oh, this is my own race. I'm not going to be focusing on another person's race, and then by focusing on that person's race, I get disqualified from mine, because that's what we see when runners are looking at other people that are running with them. No, look at your own, because when you're looking at other people, you might get out of your line, and then you are disqualified. But you focus on your own finish line. Okay, you might say, oh, this person has gone ahead of me. Just keep running. Keep running. What matters is that you finish the race. You might finish it first. You might not get involved in this syndrome called comparison syndrome. Rather, you celebrate with others, but you tell yourself, yes, this is also my own race to run. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to win it. Okay, so that's my 4th lesson, right? Number 5. I know. Please, I would like to read people's comments as well to know their own life lessons as well. And then if there are questions, I would love to have the questions as well.
Okay, now, so let me just jump in. So please, if you have if you like to share your life lessons, please drop your life lessons on the comment section. Zion is actually very, very interested. I, for one, am also interested. I would love to learn from your own life experiences to your life lessons. And if you have questions for Zion, please just drop it on the comment section. This guy is just dishing out a lot of wisdom. My book, though, please fire.
Thank you so much, Dorcas. All right, so my fifth lesson is this. I remember someone posting, was it last day? She just came on Facebook and she tagged me. She said, there is no time you hear Zion speak and he will not mention a particular word. That's that the word is purpose. And I laughed when I saw that tag, when I saw that comment. And then yesterday, I went to the library with some of my guys to do a particular work and also to read. And then when someone saw the book I was reading, she said, hi, you always would want to read something that has to do with purpose. And that's so true. And it's because the reason why I love that is because life has also taught me that once I know my purpose in life, it determines and it defines, number one, my choices. It defines my wants. It defines the kind of friends I keep, the places I go, the goals I set for myself, even the way I dress, the people I listen to, the programs I attend. I don't attend every program, be it religious. Don't say, oh, because it's a religious program, I must attend all. No, I don't do that. Why? Because knowing your purpose in life simplifies all of these things for you.
Yeah.
As I said at the beginning, life is so simple. Once you've found your purpose, it simplifies. That means there are so many things that you should not be engaged in. Not everything is for you.
Very true.
Not everyone is for you. Once you understand that, you will be killing yourself trying to impress everyone. You just tell yourself, you know what, this is my purpose. This is what I'm going to give my life to. Purpose.
Yeah.
It also defines even the job you want to take.
Yeah.
The reason people get frustrated in life, even after they are now, okay, first of all, they were not making up to 20,000. And because they saw that everybody was applying for a particular job and now they're making 1 million, they too rushed in. And then even with their 1 million they are making now from 20,000, they are still frustrated. Why? Because they don't have a definite purpose in life. And then they are frustrated even with all what they call success in terms of monetary and financial, basis, right? They are still frustrated because they have not defined their purpose. I remember when I was working in the bank and for 6 years I worked in the bank. And then when I was resigning, I remember my auditors calling to say, oh, this is your work. Why are you leaving this job? People are looking for the job. People are. He said people. It doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
At that point in life, I had to tell myself, okay, yes, I must. It's a good place to pass through, but this is not where I should end my life. Purpose helped me to define my choice at that moment. It was a tough decision, but purpose helped me. That even when I left the banking job and became broke, I lost all my money, I was so broke, but I still never had regrets or to think about going back to say, okay, give me back my job. No, purpose kept me moving to tell me that, okay, that phase is over. Go to the next phase. It helped me to define what I want. And today, it has become so beautiful. So you don't have to please every Tom, Dick, and Harry once you find your purpose in life. And it's so simple. It's so simple. And then number 6, very important, is self-explanatory. Learn to say no. I learned that. And I'm still learning that because it's still difficult for me. But I am still learning that every day. It might look simple, but I'm now learning how to say no. And can I tell you something? Most times, without having so much explanation to give to the people that you are saying no to.
Just say no.
A typical example, someone comes to you and says, please help me with a particular amount of money. You want to use the money for something. You may have the money. Tell the person no. You don't have to be explaining so much. A lot of times we have gotten ourselves into more trouble by trying to explain every reason every time we say no. Recently, someone asked me for a particular amount of money. Now, that was an amount that I could, readily afford, but I still had something to do with the money. I just simply told the person, I'm sorry, I'm not able to help you with this money at some point, but I have some pressing issues. I left it like that. There was no need to explain. You know why it's not even necessary you explain a lot of times? Because sometimes they don't want to understand.
Yeah.
They don't even care. Whatever you are saying doesn't make sense. So long as you are not giving them that money that they ask you, or that you're not rendering that assistance, they don't care to understand why you are saying no. So just say the no and move on. They'll be all right. Last class we go there all right, Abby. Last class we go there all right. Just say no and move on. That's number 6. Number 7, follow those who know the way. Life taught me that. Follow those who know the way. A quick example, there are so many examples, but a readily example that comes to mind is our Mandela Washington Fellowship that we got, right, to the glory of God. Now, I applied, that was the third time I had applied before I got qualified. The first time I applied, I I got qualified to the semi-final stage, but I did not make it because there was no one to even train me on how the interview would be. I just thought, okay, let's just go and answer the questions and come out. But no, I was wrong. Second time, I felt, let me even write the application myself. I did not even qualify to semi-final. But then the third time I was to apply, I said, Zion, there is this particular person who has been there. He even got the PDE, the professional development experience. Go and meet him. Admit you don't know anything. It's a simple thing. I mean, it's not that hard. And I went and met him. I said, Oga, help me out. And then he started coaching me. He said, yes, you have a beautiful story. You're doing a great work. But he had to help me, put the stories together. And then I qualified for the semi-final interview. And he kept drilling me. I would go to his office. He would have WhatsApp session. We'll have Zoom sessions. Because I went to him for help. And finally, by the grace of God, I was chosen for the fellowship. All because I followed who knew the road. And then I admit when I don't know it. It's as simple as that. Let me tell you one funny story, right? Please don't laugh at me. Yeah. I studied electrical engineering, all right? Yeah. I came out the best student in my department. You would think that any electrical work you give me in my house, I think it's the one that is just within my house, I'll be able to handle it. Shame on me, I can't. And I'm not afraid.
It's not
my wife, I tell you the truth. You me, I know they hide them. My wife studied economics. My wife can do more electrical work in this house more than me, by far. So sometimes when she calls me and says, hey, you're an electrical engineer, come and fix this thing. I say, I'm not fixing nothing. I don't know fix. Leave and they will call an electrician to fix it. But if you can fix it, go ahead and fix it. I just admit I cannot do it. That is not my strength. What I'm doing right now is my strength. If you wake me up in the middle of the night to say, come and do 50 life lessons with D, I'm ready for it. But you see that one, I will tell you, it's not my own, no. So I follow the one where I sabi do, and I leave the ones I can't. But then I admit that I don't know it all. And then relationship, that also talks about relationship mentorship. So life has taught me that, yes, you might know some answers, but you don't know all the answers. So keep following those who have been there before you, and then you also get to where they have gotten to. And then number 8, life has taught me that giving is living. It might sound simple, but that's so true, right? Giving is living. So I made a vow that there is no money that comes into my hand that I will not take out of it to give someone else. In fact, life taught me this last year. That there's no money. I made that decision last year, a vow, that there is no money that comes into my hand, I will not take out of it. It might look simple, little, but I will still take out of that money to help someone out there. And I've always seen the rewards. I've seen life give me back in multiple fold. Yeah. Not because there's a principle, there's a fundamental principle that those who give are more blessed than those who receive. Yes, I also am open to receiving, but I love to also give. Giving is living. And when I talk about giving, it doesn't have to be money alone. It could be inspiration. You're inspiring someone through the work you're doing. That's giving. You are helping to keep your streets clean. That is giving. You are helping that little child in his home lesson. That is giving. You are sharing the little knowledge that you have acquired. That is giving. So we can give in so many ways. Now let me come to the 9th lesson. I know you have a lot of questions for me, so I'm already wrapping up. So this is the 9th lesson that life has taught me. That you alone know what you want. Others are just guessing for you. Now only you know what you want for this life. Others will just be happy to guess. Everybody wants to be what do they call the word? What's it called? Everybody wants to be a counselor or a psychologist or a therapist, something like that. Everybody is trying to offer one counsel or one advice. They have not finished advising themselves, so they want to advise everybody. So you alone know what you want. I listened to one of my mentors. His name is Vusi Tembekwayo. He's a South African guy. I follow his podcast. I mean, he's a great guy. He said that one time he asked his own mentor, he said, what's the best advice you can give to me? He said, the mentor told him, he said, the best advice I have for you is don't follow my own advice. Don't follow my advice. It means you yourself, you know what you want.
Yeah.
Once you have been able to find your purpose in life, then you begin to navigate. Okay, begin to ask the questions. Okay, other people will just be guessing. A typical example that also comes to mind is when I founded Zealand Annex. When we started at the beginning, it was not easy. It was kind of a little bit rough. And I remember one of my mentors, someone I look up to, and I still respect him. And he said one time to me, he says, Zion, are you sure what you're doing is the right thing? Why are you making it free? Are you not supposed to be collecting money from the people? I said, well, for now, the inner voice in me is telling me, okay, I even use the word. Well, for now, if I use the word verbal, this is what I said. I said, God is not asking me to collect money from people now. And then he said something to me that I will never forget. He said, are you sure you heard God well? And that was a very, you can imagine how that question came to me as, are you sure you heard God well? I mean, I almost felt discouraged by that. But then I had to look at them. I said, no, Zion, you are very sure of what you heard at the beginning. So keep moving. And today, to the glory of God, he too is watching. He's my friend on Facebook. He's seeing the beautiful things that are happening to me now, all because I answered that call. Can you see that? So don't yes, we have mentors around us. We have people who care for us. It's not as if they hate you, no. That's not what I'm saying. They also have your best interest at heart. But do not let their own voices drown your own inner voice. So it comes back to telling you that you alone know what you want. Other people are just guessing. He was just guessing. Imagine if I had gone with his own guess. I would have lost it. Possibly nobody would have known. I would have found what I was doing, and nobody would have invited me to the US for any fellowship. But because I followed my inner voice, and today, look at us, we are moving to where God has called us to. All right? So you alone know what you want. And then finally, number 10, which is very important, and I don't joke with this. It might sound simple, but it's very important. Go passionately for knowledge. In fact, my last words to people is this. There is nothing you're looking for in this life that you will not get when you go for knowledge. There is nothing. Knowledge, I mean, it's a wonderful compass. It points you in the direction. You might miss it even while you are searching for it, but you would still be growing. Remember what I said at the beginning, that life tests you through problems, through possessions, through people. But all of these things are building something in you. So even in your quest for that direction, that destination, you might have some detours. You might go the wrong way. But because you are still passionately going for knowledge, one day you arrive at a destination. And you will not arrive at a destination like other people who just found themselves there. You will have grown. You will have developed capacity to be able to handle that position well, to be able to manage that thing well. Go for knowledge. Knowledge could be in form of books, it could be in form of listening to mentors, it could be in form of asking questions. Go passionately for knowledge. It's so unfortunate today. And now I don't have a problem with people who, they join live sessions for maybe prayer meetings. It's a beautiful thing, right? But doctors, when you call for knowledge sharing meetings, you hardly find the same number of people who join prayer meetings, join knowledge sharing meetings. And then you wonder now, I don't say this with disrespect, you wonder why most of these people who are always running after prayer meetings, they are still at the same spot that they have been for years. This is not just stop trying to blaspheme, right? This is not us trying to just talk. We have seen it. But then we have seen those who have added knowledge, and we have seen their lives explode. But then some are just after, let's just keep joining prayer meetings. Every time they don't go for knowledge, and their lives are at a standstill for years. Are we not deceiving ourselves doing that? You have done the same thing over and over, and you have not gotten any positive result or a positive change, and you are still doing it. Is that not madness? That's what Ziegler defines as madness. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know that by adding knowledge to this your prayer, your life will become better. But you say, no, let me only be praying for 20 years. And you are still at the same spot. Common sense should tell you to take another direction. So can we be a little bit wiser in 2023 and say, let me go for knowledge, so that when I'm engaging in other things, I am now having a solid foundation. I'm having stability, and I'm having positive results. All right? So I believe that with this, you have learned one or two things. And then I can now take your questions and the comments. Thank you, doctors.
Wow. Hey, like I said this is going to be an explosion. This is going to be explosive. In short, you are just dropping bomb left, right, and center. Everywhere don't scatter. You've broken tables. Plenty tables don't break. Zion, thank you so much. So Let's start from number 10. Like when you were just speaking, and when you were just speaking about how we just, some persons focus on prayers, and this was the thought that just came to my head. You see, the blessings of God, it works two ways. God has done his own. He has released the blessing. You must position yourself to receive it.
Oh, yeah.
You must do the work. And part of doing that work is for you to build capacity to receive the blessings you're praying for.
That's right.
And you can build
That's right.
capacity leveraging knowledge. Most times you are just praying. You're praying, oh God, give me this. The truth is, if the blessings that you're asking for comes now, you will spoil it because you're not ready. You're not, if the way you are, like if God drops it on your head right now, you are not ready to receive. And when you were just talking about, we must passionately go for knowledge, I totally agree for you. We must leave. I'm not saying stop praying. You are praying. We need prayers. It's something you must. It's a lifestyle, loving God.
That's right.
But it's also important that as you're trusting God for this thing, you must position yourself to receive the rain. You must position yourself to receive the rain. You cannot be praying for rain and still yet you don't even have container. You don't have container to receive. You don't have you've not prepared the place, the reservoir. I think for me, where your faith comes in, where I see you act in faith that God has actually released that blessing, is you working in faith to build capacity. If you're trusting God for an international job, no, some of us, you say, you will hear some people, I want to work with you. What have you done? What certifications have you gotten? You want to work with UNICEF. What certifications have you gotten? I was having a conversation with one of my friends and she shared her dream. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I said, there's only one thing I will tell you. Go to LinkedIn. Go and look for people working in that organization. Check their profile. What are their qualifications? What are they doing? What is their job experiences? And then ask yourself, where is the knowledge gap? Identify the knowledge gaps in your life and be intentional about filling up those gaps, those knowledge gaps. You cannot just say, no, like, when you were talking, it was paining me. I said, we must talk about this thing. This knowledge thing is important. We cannot just, sometimes when we do all of these things, you want to fake it. Our God is not a magician. Come on. Come on. I remember there was a time a friend of mine was praying a prayer and I looked at her and I told her, I said, if heaven open now, and you just see like Ghana must go of money start dropping from the sky, will you stand and carry it? I said, all of us, we will scatter, we will run because it has never happened before. Yes, that's the truth. I said, the truth is, it is what you have in your hands God is going to use to bless you. And the question now, I think for me, this knowledge thing really touched me. You want to say something?
So let me just quickly, let me just chip in. You just said so much, but see, our prayers are very important, as you said, but our prayers don't even change God. God is who he is. He's not going to change for anything. So pray from now till next 50 years. You can't change him. As you said at the beginning, he has already done everything. Yeah, the things are here. The resources are here. I mean, what is it that we don't have in a country as a country should have, right? But then knowledge, what knowledge helps to do, and then it changes you as well.
Yeah.
Prayers change things, but knowledge now change you to even be able to manage those things. Because the things are already here. God is not going to put an extra tree for you to make wood from. He won't put another extra water for me to get resources. He's not going to put extra oil in the ground. He's not going to give extra air for people to get oxygen tubes with all of those things. It's just knowledge that will help you to be able to harness these things. So prayer is good because prayer even changes. Of course, it changes your attitude. It can change a lot, but it's even about you. But after you have prayed, go for knowledge. Now, knowledge helps you to be able to say, okay, wow, I've been praying for this. But knowledge is even telling that, no, this is not what you should be praying for. Oh, you're praying, oh God, I need money. Knowledge is telling you, just be nice to this person, and then you will get that help, that favor from that person without stress. So if you are praying with a bad attitude and you have not gone for knowledge that will tell you what the implication or the consequence of bad attitude is, then you will still remain in that bad attitude even with all your prayers.
Yeah.
And then you miss out on good things of life because of your nasty attitude. Yes, you are praying, but yes, you still have, yet you have bad attitude. So knowledge begins to help you to know that, okay, no, this is not the right way to go. And then once you pray a little, boom, you just find results. You find results. So that's just what I want to chip in.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. See, the bottom line is go for knowledge. Like in Zion's word,
Yeah.
go passionately
Passionately.
for knowledge. I need to stress it for knowledge. Like it is important. No, like that's really powerful. Like when we were just talking, you were just eating that bag by say, people must hear this, we must flog it. We cannot overflog this. It is
That's
important.
right.
Knowledge is
That's
important.
right.
It is. It is. It is important. Okay, so let's go to number now. He said, I love that number. Now when you talked about you only know what you only, now you, only you
Now
know
you.
what you want. Only you. Others are just guessing. This is where I think when you were just talking, it just reminded me of, sometimes we ask people, what do you think? Whereas we've made up our mind what we want to do.
Exactly.
Like when you just said that was the thing that just clicked. I said sometimes we're just trying to be polite to announce this is what we want to do, so that it not come like an announcement. But we just say, what do you think? But the truth is we already have exactly what we want to do. We know it. Like only you know yourself. Let's just discuss it and just bring real life scenarios into it. No, there are some situations that most likely you might be on the wrong. It's not every time you are right. Zion heard God.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what God told him. He knew the instruction for the season, and he was focused. And I'm so grateful to God that you were not distracted. You're not like, oh, this person, because the caliber of the person that is questioning my hearing, and then I will shift. No, I'm so grateful that you still maintained your focus. But that is Zion. I'm not saying I'm not saying for somebody listening, right? I'm not saying, oh, maybe you didn't hear God clearly. But sometimes we are on the wrong.
Yeah.
Sure. Even when you are doing that wrong thing, sometimes you even know that I didn't mess up or I not try. But because you don't want to, I will tie it to your next point, because you don't want to admit that I am wrong, I don't know it, you will now be forming James Bond on the wrong zone. So the dead end. Hey, Zion, please, over to you. So what do you have to say to people in that situation?
So yes, even most times, even when we hear God, we still do not hear him perfectly well, right? It's just like a child who is giving birth to a little child. There are times he knows that it's his father's voice that he's hearing, and sometimes he will not even. Could it be my dad? Could it not be my dad? But after some time, he's so certain that this is my dad speaking. But even when he knows it is that, it's not everything his dad tells him that he does. So let's tell ourselves the truth. It's not everything that I say we hear. Now we do. And you see, God is so merciful. He still gave us that free choice to make.
You will.
Just say, okay, still that's free will. Just make your decisions, right? So we still make mistakes even in all of this. It doesn't mean because I know that I was supposed to do Zelen Annex, I've not missed out on some of the things that God has asked me to do. I have missed out on so many. But you see, in his mercy, he has the way of still bringing us together. And then that's how he speaks to us through the inner voice. As I said, yes, it's good you listen to mentors and all of these wonderful people. And that's why till today, I download messages. As at today, I've downloaded more than 577 videos on YouTube. What is my download today? 577 as at today that I checked. I'm not talking about those that I watched and I just deleted. I'm talking about the ones that are there. And more than 90% are messages of people that I look up to. Now, why would I not say, oh, because I am hearing God, then I will not listen to those people? No, I still listen to them because there is nothing new. Whatever you're doing is nothing new under the sun, right? Someone else must have told that path before. They have gone through that situation before. And then I'm using their stories to also guide my life. But then I would still not allow their own voices, because the voices are many.
Yeah.
I listen to the likes of Miles Muro, I listen to TD Jakes, I listen to Lucy Tembekwayo, I listen to Barack Obama. There are so many, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, but I will not allow their voices to drown my own inner voice. There is an assignment that is designed for me to fulfill, and they don't know the assignment like I should know. And how should I know the assignment? By now meeting the one who gave me the assignment, which is God, right? So It's not me to be running to TDJs. TDJs, what is my assignment for life? No, I won't do that. I'll say, God, what is my assignment? And then God will say, okay, this is your assignment. But just in case you are not sure, He begins now to point you in the direction of these people. So there was a point in my life I was listening. I don't want to mention names, but there are some people that I was listening to some years ago that I am not that I don't listen to them, but I don't go looking for their messages to listen to now. Why? Because that was a phase that I should listen to them.
Yeah.
Now I have moved on to listen to other people. Does not mean that their own messages are not relevant. They are still relevant, but maybe not to me in this season and phase that I am in. So I keep moving. So you must understand when to keep moving. So people have remained in a particular place. Say, this is where my father. Your father's assignment is different from your own. So you must be able to define, okay, what do you really want? And then by the time you can define, as I started, when I talked about purpose, I said purpose will also define who you listen to.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who are doing great things. Trust me, people have applied what they said and they have achieved great results. But if I apply those things, it might not give me the results that I expect. Purpose makes me to define who to listen to. So yes, I listen to them, but I still go back to my inner voice, because that is how God speaks to me, my inner voice.
Yeah.
He can still speak
Yeah.
through other people, but more importantly, He will still speak to your inner voice. And you must not allow other people's voices to drown yours.
Yeah.
That's why I say, now you go. No, finally, last, now you know what you want. Because after all is said and done, if all else fails, now you go there alone. No? Now you go still stand inside that wahala. They won't stand with you. All the people that give you so much advice, hey, take this, do this, do this, do this. After they can't confuse you, by the time you can't find yourself inside trouble, they will run and leave you. You will be alone in that mess. You get so. Why not say, okay, since I would be alone in that mess, if it becomes a mess, why not I also take responsibility for the tough decisions? Even if you fail, who says the failure is bad? Let's even say you miss it and you go the wrong way and you get burnt, your fingers get burnt. You have learned from it. You keep moving. It does not mean that you shouldn't learn from other people's experiences, but at times you also should take your own step. No matter how much a father carries his child, one day he will say, okay, you child, come down now and walk by your own self. The child will walk and fall. The father will not. No, the father will sometimes allow the child to even fall and say, yes, by falling, you are learning how to walk better. And a time comes, the child begins to run. So a time comes where you must do it yourself. Not every time people are spoon feeding you, giving you breast milk all the time. No, that time you have to start chewing the strong meat. It might hurt your teeth, but you keep chewing till you master it.
Yeah, like perfect, like on point. Last now you. Last the decision is still you. And you just need to take responsibility. You're responsible enough to make that choice, to make that decision. It is your life. You own it. And peradventure you get born, own your mistake. It is part of the learning process. I was having I saw a video. I saw one of those random videos on YouTube, and it helped me, because the lady, she was invited. It was a show, and she was talking about her father, and she said, growing up, our father taught them the children, how to fail. That it is okay to fail, because when you fail, you learn. And I said, those are lessons that are not common. We don't get like, when your dad is intentional, give you something difficult because we want you to fail at it. Then you push yourself because you want to get better. So it is okay to fail, and how we respond to failure is different. No, we will still get to that point when you're
this
talking
is what
about
your
it.
school
I
does
don't
not
want
teach
us
you.
to talk about it, but we get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. Let's not just jump. So I think one thing I would like to add to what you said, to the bucket of wisdom that you just drew out of your way for us this afternoon. One thing I would like to add is, sometimes when those instructions come, they don't come in full. So it is okay. You might not get full clarity in what you're supposed to do. It is fine. But as you take steps in obeying, in doing those instructions, the pictures become clearer, and you get better understanding at what you're supposed to do. Don't be scared to take that first step. oh, there is this thing. It is okay not to get the full picture. It is okay not to know it all. It is okay not to even understand it, but just step out and see. And I strongly believe that the rest will be history. So let's go. So we've done 10 and 9. So let's go to 1. So 1, you talked about what you live in people. So if you're just joining us, you're welcome to 10 Life Lessons with D. And today I have my wonderful friend and brother, is Zion. Zion has been dishing out a lot of wisdom for us. Zion, thank you so much. So Zion has shared his 10 lessons, so we're just engaging on the lesson. But before the end of the show, we are going to do a quick run through of the lesson. But right now, we are going to lesson number 1 to re-engage. So lesson number 1, you talked about what you leave in people is much better than what you leave for them. Zion, please expatiate. What you leave in people is much more better than what you leave for them. So them is on the outside. In is on the inside. So tell us more.
Yeah. So it does not mean that what you leave for them is not good, of course. Who would not like to have parents who will leave houses for them, or cars, or jewelry, or dollars in their bank account and all of that? Everybody wants that. But if that is all what you dwell on, then you're going to be missing the big picture.
Yeah.
And if you check out the growth that even happens on our outside started from the inside.
Yeah.
It tells you that what is, in fact, the things that are done behind the scenes, if you check out that, they are the things that really have more value than things that you just see out there. For instance, we are, I'm sure you are in a building right now. You can't even see the foundation, right?
Yes.
But does that deny that the foundation is there? No, it does not deny, it does not negate the fact that the foundation is there. The foundation is holding the building, right? But you cannot even see it. But imagine if the foundation was not strong enough. I'm sure you would be scared of even sitting in that building.
Yeah.
So if all you talked about, if all you invested in was just the chandeliers, the aesthetics, the painting of the house, but you did not do so much with the foundation, then it's just a matter of time. You will lose every other, you will lose the painting, you will lose the aesthetics and everything by the time the house crumbles due to a faulty foundation. So that foundation is what is left in you. So some of us, our parents are not, it does not mean that those whose parents are rich don't do the same thing that our parents did who could not afford. But at least that was what they could afford, right? Yeah. So they instilled in us values. Yes, we have grown, we are no longer with them, but there are some things that, there are some things we still stubbornly do, but our conscience will still tell us that, no, this is not what you were taught when you're growing up. And then we try to retrace our steps. So it's those values that are still guiding us. We are not perfect, we will never be, but we just know that, no, this is not how we should live our lives. Yeah. We are still moving because they have left things in us. They've left value, they've left the fear of God, they've left respect in us, they've left love in us, how to love people. So I cannot carry gun now and just go on the street and start shooting people because my parents left in me love for humanity. Yeah. So imagine if they were not after that, if all they cared about was, hey, if I just cry, hey, Zion, take toy, hey, take money, and daddy's never at home to even sit me down and tell me these are the basic things of life, I would now grow up and all my life would just be focused on would be the things that he left for me and how to keep pursuing those things because I would keep running out of them. So I want to always have to keep chasing after them. Yeah. And then I neglect the basic things. So once you have something left in you, what happens is that it doesn't take time for you to start attracting the things on the outside. Oh yes, that's what happens. But if you don't have anything in you and you lose what is on the outside, the way most times the way you want to get them back is to go and steal them, or to go and do something evil, or to go and hurt someone or cheat someone to get those things. But if you have something in you, you have your father instilled, let's say, entrepreneurship in you. He didn't give you all the gold and silver, but he told you, okay, this little 5 naira, this is how to manage 5 naira. And then he teaches you all of those things. By the time you grow up, what happens? Even when you lose 1 billion, you go back to the foundation and say, oh, my dad taught me how to start with 5 naira. I will start with the little I have. Few days ago, we heard that Elon Musk became the first man in history to lose $200 billion. What? And he has not killed himself. He has not committed suicide. Yes, we have seen people who lost 1 million and they took sniper,
People.
not even up to, some people even 30,000 naira, because there was nothing solid in them. So for them, the moment they lost that outside possession, for them it was the end of their life. But for those who say, you know what, I can always get back that money because it's in me. Steal all you want on the outside, they will always only take them a matter of time. They will get it back. So it still goes back to saying what you live in people is much better than what you live for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I remember one of my mentor was saying, I think one day he just said it, and he said, if you take me out of this place, like everything I've built, and you put me in a desert, I will replicate this success again. Because it is not about what you see, it is about what is on my inside. Like it is super important. And I think this point summarizes that lesson. This lesson just summarizes what he said then. Like, apart from what this is now, let's bring it back to people. What you live in people is much better than what you live for them. So let's take it back to, now we've talked about us as individuals. It's important that you invest in yourself, you build all of those values. And let's take it outward now. Even the people you meet on a daily, the people you come in contact with, your friends, be intentional about investing in them.
Yes, in them.
Them.
That's right.
Like, be intentional. Like, I remember, let me just say a funny thing that happened one day. It was like a joke then. I was still in the corporate space. And so somebody was just teasing that, they want to get Dorcas a gift. What will they give Dorcas? Then somebody just said, she wanted to attend this conference. So this conference is expensive. You will pay for the conference ticket. And somebody, that was what the person was suggesting. Somebody was like, you cannot just go and buy. He said, no, Dorcas will not appreciate the gift. That if you give her this conference ticket, like you buy, that she will appreciate. But for me, if I go for that conference, you've invested inside of me. It is knowledge. So why did I share that story? I'm sharing that to say this. Beyond the flashy gifts we give to our loved ones, let's be intentional about investing into them in their personal development. You can sign them up for a course. Some of them, it is so easy to sit in front of TV and watch series. And it's so difficult to sit there in front of computer to do an online course. But still take chances on them. Encourage them. Push them to do those. The way you discuss series, you discuss movies. Also discuss like courses, discuss conferences. Like, be intentional about investing. So 2023, as you grow, my own is let's grow together. If you know there is somebody that needs it, the best way to help the person don't even know how. You know, we've been talking a lot. Some people say, tell me I will know, but show me. I will know how to do it. Showing is very important. You can just show them. Show them by helping them register for that first conference. Show them by taking them for that conference. Show them by getting them connected to a mentor. Or show them by saying, okay, go to YouTube. Have you listened to this? Have you listened to this message? Have you listened to this? Download it. Make sure they listen. Like, you're investing in them. Just go and say, let's discuss it. What did you learn? It's intentionality. So I think, there were some things that our parents did. They didn't even know they were even building us. They just did it unconsciously.
Like my dad, the story I gave about my dad's library.
It's like your dad's library. Yeah. Your dad just had it there. My dad also, ours was not library. We had those big Ghana must go. My dad is the lover of books. I shared it the last time, and I'm still saying it again. So my dad had a lot of books. My elder brother is he's one of the craziest readers I've seen in my life. He reads. And just like you, he also went to a boarding house. When he came back, I think when he came back and wanted to write JAM also, the gift my father gave him was a Ghana must go of books. I remember the day he told my dad I has finished reading all the books. My dad was shocked.
Wow.
Because he had to, now it's time for us to give you money to go and buy books. So we must be intentional, consciously, unconsciously.
Exactly.
Because I just felt our parents did some things unconsciously. It was not like, they knew, they had intention. This is what we want. We want you to love. We want you to love knowledge. That was not really the motive. But today, that action, those little actions have molded Zion to who he is today. So please, let's be
These
intentional.
these books you can see on my shelves. They're not even up to the books I have. I still have some books in the, I just display these ones.
No, this
And I bought
one is
these
for
books
the
while I was
shelf.
still working the bank. While I was still working the bank, right? I remember one time a customer came when it was my turn to serve. I had a guy, the guy who was bringing books. I just brought books. I think he brought five. I bought about five big books or 4 or 5 books that day. So when it came to her turn for me to attend to her, she asked a question. She said, with this bank work you're doing, what time would you have to be reading these books that you're buying? I said, Ma, I will have to create the time. I remember then I
Yeah.
was working the bank. I would have to be at work by 7:30, the workers, but I would wake
Wow.
up sometimes by 2 a.m. just to read for like 1 or 2 hours. And then I would go back to
Wow.
bed again, just sleep a little bit, then wake up around 6 to prepare myself for work. I told myself one time, I said, I would not be lighting, I would not be like that candle. That, yes, candle is good, it gives light. Yes, while I'm giving the bank light with my skills, my expertise, I won't now be burning out to the point that when I now go down, I become irrelevant. Because once the candle has finished giving the light and it goes out, you throw it away with the wax.
Yeah.
And then you go and look for another candle. So I don't want to be that kind of candle that you would throw away. I want to be that kind of lamp that you can constantly refuel, and then you will still be using it to give lights. That was what I did,
Yeah.
and I kept reading. And today, now some of my friends then were buying some things on the outside, some jewelry and clothes. I wasn't spending so much time buying all of those things. But today, some of those things we have been given for free. People have begged us to collect those things as gifts. They have given us money without asking. People have given me clothes without asking. I mean, it just tells you that once you pay the dues, you will
Yeah.
attract those other things that people are dying to get. That's what the scripture says, right? It says, seek ye first the
Yeah.
kingdom, and all that things that people are dying to get will be given to you cheaply.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So people are now giving these things to me without me asking, and I'm like, wow, so these things really work. So when we are
It
telling young
does.
people, when you see a mentor, the first thing you shouldn't be looking at your mentor and then you're expecting to give you money. Every time you see your mentor, I wanted to tell you 5 naira, take 5 naira, take 10 naira. I was speaking to my global giant. I call my Z-Learning Annex students global giant. I was speaking to them one time and I said to them, I said, doesn't it sadden you when you go to some establishments, I mean, some corporate establishments, and then you see a security man who has been working there for 20, 30 years as a security man? In other words, people who just came there as maybe fresh graduates, they have risen up the ladder and they have become so prominent. But you are still there as a security man, and then you are making boasts to say, before you come this office, me, I don't dare here 30 years. But you are still a security man. What stops you from acquiring knowledge in those 20, 30 years, so that you too, you rise up the ladder, or one day you also go and found your own establishment?
Yeah.
You don't have to say, oh, I'm not God's economic idea. In this in this century, you don't have to go to a 4 word classroom before you say you're educated. See
Yeah.
online courses, as you pointed out. People are learning coding online and they are making thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. Who says you cannot learn that? Who says you
Yeah.
cannot even learn how to read and write online?
Mm.
There is so much that you can do online, but no, we want to wait till someone takes money and says, take Dockers, go and register in one Jebrudaya nursery and primary school before you become educated. It's not applicable in this time. We have to understand times and seasons.
We are getting
And
there.
then, man, you keep rising, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we are getting there. Like, just be intentional about investing in yourself. So I will close this one with a story. So because I know the person personally. So there is this
Okay.
driver I know. When I knew him, he was a driver because I think there was a time they sent him to bring something to me when I was still in school. So I knew him as the driver. But a few years ago, I asked, like, when I asked my dad, like, this driver, I said, no, it's no longer a driver, it's a full staff. He even told me the person's rank, like the person, like when he was driving in that organization, he was going to school, he was investing in himself to get education. The moment he was able to get his certificate and everything, they upgraded him. So he's no longer a driver. Let me even give you the story of Raquel. Raquel said one day she woke up, she the way she described it was like the story of Joseph. She said she went to work as a cleaner. By the time at the close of work, she was the receptionist. I be the type. office. I can't even remember. So what did she do? She said that time they just brought in computers into the office she was working. So she was just cleaning. So when they go, she sit back at the office to train herself how to use the computer.
Wow.
Then I think, was it the receptionist or somebody resigned? And she just came to office and she saw something needed, receptionist needed, secretary needed, what to type to do this. She just said she just went to Madame's office and said, I can do this. And we're like, you, cleaner, where? Like from where to where? Where did you learn it? Say I can, and they tested her and she got it. She said the next thing she just saw the woman just went to the door, removed the reception and told the person, print cleaner needed. Can you see the upgrade? So these are like life. I just wanted to share that to just.
So knowledge upgrades you.
Knowledge upgrades you. That is just it. So let's go to point number 2: gratitude. You talked about this. Oh, this is where your quote comes in: an attitude of gratitude. We attract to you, be attitude.
Dorcas, okay. My invoice is coming out. I'll increase the price now for what you just did.
Yeah, no, but seriously, we just need to be thankful. Like, you know, when you introduced it, you said something very important. It touched my heart. You said, we need to be grateful. We are not where we used to be. Although we are not where we want to be, but we are not, like, if you look back, you go see a space there, you don't pass. You pass some people. Like, it is not like they're still yet, and you just sit down and, I don't know, we are always at that default mode where you just think, you just want to be complaining. You are so, like, that ungrateful attitude. You must off that button and put on the button of gratitude. Let's talk a little bit about gratitude. This one will not.
So Dorcas, and when I talked about gratitude, I said when you are grateful, it eliminates worry.
Yeah.
Because anytime worry comes from, we call it the devil, but sometimes they be our own devil. You just wake up and then they are thinking of what to worry about. Not just them will wake up. They think about, hey, what's I know get for house. So, but gratitude eliminates worry. I was talking to a friend of mine on Sunday. I said, right now, there are some things we have today that we worried about having about 5-10 years ago.
Very.
So right now we are now asking ourselves, why were we even worrying about it about 5-10 years ago? I said, now if we worry again today, in the next 5 to 10 years, we will still ask ourselves then, why were we even worrying about it today?
Yeah.
Just be grateful and keep doing the things that you are called to do. Those things will fall in place.
Yeah.
And if they don't come, and so if they don't come, so does that mean you are a failure? The answer is no. Remember what I said at the beginning? Some things you may not have in your own lifetime. It could be for your children or your children's children. So who says, oh, because you have done all there is to do and you don't have those things, you feel you have failed? No, it could be that it is not for you. I tell people that it's only myopic, small-minded people that only think about themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, because I have done this, so I should get this. No, sometimes it's not about you. It's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Even the disappointments you experience at certain times, it's not because God does not just want to sit down and just get you disappointed. Sometimes it's because of other people out there that will be disappointed and will not be able to stand it. God will say, okay, I can trust Dorcas to handle disappointment now, so that tomorrow she can stand on a global scale, she'll be on live television and encourage that man that's about committing suicide because he got discouraged or he got disappointed.
Yeah.
Can you see that you are just a variable in the equation? You are not a constant. We always want to think that the world revolves around us. If you make the world revolve around you, you will just die easily. It's like you putting the whole burden of the world upon your shoulder. You go just break. So just tell yourself, okay, I'm just a part of this. I am going through this. It's either because God wants to mature me, but it could also be because God wants to use me for someone in the future, someone that I don't even know about. It could be in the next 20 years. The person has not even been born. And God will say, because of that person, I am now maturing you for this. Like an example is that of Joyce Meyer. I'm sure you know, some of us know Joyce Meyer. She was abused. Is it that God would just be clapping for the person that was abusing her? No. But out of that abuse, She is now transforming millions of lives.
Wow.
Now, a lot of ladies who are going through abuse now, they now have a reason to live and to not be despaired, because Joyce Meyer withstood. She was able to manage the abuse, and God was able to turn her mess into a message.
Yeah.
So once you understand all of that, you'll be grateful for everything, good or bad. In fact, now they call them bad. It is not bad.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because my Bible says, for all things work together for my good. So that thing that they call them bad, but they say now all of them, they work for my good.
Yeah.
What you call disappointment, it's not a disappointment to me. Some time ago, so many years ago, I wanted traveling out of the country. Not be today where I want to travel. I want to travel out of the country some time ago. I use pidgin because I like to simplify my message, right? Bear with me. I had this desire, but it didn't come then. If I was about doing it, I wanted going in a shady way. I'm not going to mention it because I'm on television, I was on live screen. But I wanted to do it anyway. Maybe just go to the US, even not to go do anything, go wash plates. But one time I had to sit down because I had learned, I had grown. I said, you know what, Zion? I just told myself, Zion, you wouldn't go to the US, you won't go abroad in this kind of way. You go in an honorable way.
Yeah.
And I continued. I kept applying to so many things. One time I went to the embassy without being invited. I was turned back, all of that. But I told myself, just keep doing what you're doing. And then the first time I went there honorably on the invitation of the former president of the US. Can you see that? So it tells you that whatever you're looking for now, just keep paying the dues.
Yeah.
Just keep being grateful. Keep putting the work. One day it will come to you. So that's just what I'm going to say. Yeah.
It will. And just the way Zion just mentioned, like who told you that they are failures? Like who told you that it is heartbreak? Who told you like it is not answered prayers?
Exactly.
Like sometimes some closed doors. Sometimes we are trying to break the door. Some closed doors, they're actually blessings in disguise. I am serious. You will not know. Like you will not know. You will think, God, life is unfair. That is why this thing is not clicking. God knows that when you enter, it is actually prison. It is not paradise.
That's
it is
true.
prison. And God is saying, oh no, let's block it. Let's lock it. And Dorcas is here. We must break it down. We must Sometimes the no we get, the rejections we get, they are not actually disappointment. They're actually blessings in disguise. Today, you will not know the reason why it happened, but with time, you'll get. With time, you just say yourself, oh, Father, thank you for what happened. And there you were crying your eyes out because it happened. And like, if you look back, when you were talking about, there were some things we worry over, like 5 years ago, and today we like, why were we worrying? That is just how it is. So we just need to just take that posture of gratitude. And my mentor always says something that it is like it is what you're grateful for today is what will attract the testimony of tomorrow. I don't know how to put it, but the truth is you just need to be grateful. If you are not thankful for what you have today, how will you be thankful for what will come? So you just
someone said if you're not thankful, your tank will not be full.
Thank you.
My mentor said if you're not thankful, your tank will not be full.
So please, let's be thankful. It is important.
Right.
I when in short, I think for me, one very key message I got from you when you were talking about gratitude was when you said, even if it's a cup of water, your dad will say thank you. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, it is not when people see, never you feel entitled that it is your right. You own it.
Exactly.
They should do it. Oh, Zion is here. He should talk. I invite you should talk. No, you just need to be grateful for the little thing. Somebody see, like even for the smallest thing, just say thank you. You never know. That thank you might be making somebody's day. That thank you might be what the key that will open the door. You just being nice and being grateful. It doesn't take you anything. I used to tell people the 5 magic words, they do wonders. Never you abused any of them. And because you go to a restaurant or you think because the person that is waiting on you, the person is being paid, the person serve you, just be grateful, just say thank you. Oh, the person is a cleaner, just say thank you and well done. Appreciate people. It costs you nothing really. Just be nice. Niceness is good. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And Zion said, he's the most peaceful man on earth. Oh God, you don't know how many people don't suffer from BP gratitude. So yeah. Let's go to point number 3. This is 10 life lessons with D, and we have Zion in the building. So lesson number 3, we don't always get what we want. It does not make us failures or life being unfair. It's just time and chance, Zion.
That's true. Yeah, so time and chance happens to everyone, right? So that
Yeah.
people who have really labored, you would think, oh, with the way this guy has suffered, he should get everything. But that's not true. It doesn't work that way. Then you just sit down here and someone just comes and gives you what you never worked for. Time and chance. Time and
Yeah.
chance. My wife and I were talking about it today. While we're, praying, I just mentioned it. I said, can you imagine some people, their brother just became maybe one politician, and then the guy no get any qualification, nothing. But because the brother does not want him always asking for money, just say, you know what, okay, come and sit down in this position. And then he's making the billions. All of a sudden, he's building houses, no qualification, nothing.
Time and
Cry
chance.
all you want. Time and chance has happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the same way God says that the same rain will fall on the wicked and also on the righteous. You know, God say, because I'm too righteous, now only the rain will fall on top. You are deceiving yourself. The rain that will pour on you will still fall on the wicked. It's just time and chance.
Yeah.
So you don't get all you ever want. Otherwise, man, even Dangote doesn't have all he wants. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have all he wants. There is nobody in this world that has all they want. But we just keep moving. We just keep being grateful. It takes us back to gratitude. Just be grateful for the ones you have. And you keep moving. One day it will declare to us. We can't answer all questions now, right?
Yeah.
There's some questions that we can never have the answers to in this part of the world, this part of eternity. Because our life on earth is just a little fraction, a drop in the water in an ocean compared to the life afterwards, right? So it's over there that we'll be able to understand. But right now, our brains are too small to comprehend why we have done certain things that they say we should do. And then we wonder why I've not gotten the result as they said. You might begin to get angry and frustrated. But this motivational speaker said we should do this now. This person, it may not happen to you the same way to happen to others who have applied the same thing. It's what? Time and chance. Just embrace it as it is. Run your race and then get to the finish line. On that day, you understand why it did not happen to you. And then you keep moving on. That's life for you, my dear.
Yeah. So there's this let me paraphrase it. My mom loves saying it. My mom will say, somebody will go to the market square and like beat drum. People will spray the person money. It's an adage. Then you will go. You want to beat us. It is with cake. They'll used to flog you. They'll flog you out of the market square. It is still time and chance. And when you were talking, what just dropped in my mind to share is the story of the Chinese bamboo. Like, you know, when you plant the Chinese bamboo and every other person, so I watched this video of the man that planted the Chinese bamboo, and like it's like a vast agricultural land. So everybody were planting. So you will see everybody's own were growing, his own nothing. First year, nothing. Second year, nothing. Third year, nothing. Fourth year, nothing. Like people have invested, they've already made their money, they were already doing things, but this man was still focused, like he was still pushing. Hope against hope. Like, you know, when people will come and say, this thing is a failed project, this thing cannot work. You see, nothing is even coming out. But guess what? Something was growing, was taking roots downward. And then, years later, before we say Jack Robinson, after how many weeks, everywhere was bamboo. It was already a bamboo plantation. But the truth is, at that moment, from the very beginning, imagine the first year, society will have called him a failure, that this man is useless. He does not even know what he's doing. Every time you are going to pour water. Nothing is coming out. Second year, they will call you mean. They will tease you. But this is a man that was still focused. He was determined. He stayed there. He knew that this is it. That he knew what it is. Sometimes people around you don't even know the vision. They don't even understand the scope of the vision. You know the vision. You understand the scope of the vision. So it is your responsibility to stay and remain focused on that vision. Don't allow distraction. Don't allow noise get the best of you. Yes, sometimes noise will come. It will push you to the edge, but please don't fall. Because people will always talk. People always, like for me, I just feel people are entitled to their opinions. People are entitled to their thoughts. So it is you. So you don't allow society, you know, when you're talking about society defining what success is, you don't allow society to define what you're doing or tag it or give it name tag. Or society will come and say, oh, this thing you are doing, you are failed. Oh, this thing is rubbish. No. We just need, see, you just need to learn. 2023, a lot is going to be happening.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of the year. So a lot is going to be happening. So right now, you just need to know exactly what you want. According in Zion's voice, now only you last, now only you know what you want. So you just need to know exactly
do your
what
own
you
part.
want.
Do your own part. Just like the farmer, he doesn't worry about how the plants will grow. He just does his own work.
Yeah.
He plants, he waters, he fertilizes, and then he goes to sleep. Imagine if every day he's coming to check, hey, how, and then when he, I told my students one time, I said, imagine a farmer, he plants one, in each soil, he puts one grain of maize.
Yes.
Let's say 100, in 100, so he dug 100 holes, and then he puts one grain. He's applying the same water, the same amount of fertilizer. At the end of the day, they will not all bring out the same cobs of corn. Some will bring 20, some will bring 30, some will bring 100. It's the same time and chance. You just do your work, go and sleep, and allow the rewarder to take care of the rest.
Take care of
That's
it.
all.
So,
and just as I said, who says the disappointment is even bad? It's not a bad thing. If it's disappointment, it's not a bad thing still. It's still part of life.
Like it is life. Life happens.
Life.
Yeah, so let's go to point number 4. In life, we all win, but we win differently. I love.
So of course, if they join the conversation when we started, if I knew you were going to ask all of this, I would have just given out the points and then I'll be breaking them down. So if I advise them, let them go back and watch the video from the beginning, and then they will listen to my explanations, right? But then, just as I said, that we all are winners, especially if you know that you are doing the work that you are asked to do. You are fulfilling purpose. You are engaging in that assignment that you have been called to do. It might not be big. Some of us might be called to just one person. Some people may be called to 1,000. Some people are called to 1 million. Whether you are called to 1 or 1,000 or 5,000, just focus on your own. You don't get distracted by other people's own. If you fulfill your one, you are still a winner. Just like the parable of the talents. The master gave 1 5, he gave 1 2, gave 1 1. The guy with 5 got other 5. The master said the same thing to him as he said to the one with 2. Good job, well and good and faithful servant. The same thing. So he saw both of them as winners, even though they came back with different results based on the abilities that they had. The guy with 1, if he had gotten another extra 1, he would have still gotten the same commendation as the guy who had the 5, because the master would have seen all of them as winners, but they won differently based on their ability. So your ability might be to just be a singer. Don't get distracted if your friends are into tech, arts, catering, pastries. That could be their own abilities to handle all of those things. Your own might just be to handle one thing, which is singing. Focus on it and touch the lives that you want to touch. Don't say, okay, because Mark Zuckerberg has been able to get more than 2 billion people on his network and is making billions of dollars. Hey, me, I've only reached 500 people in my community. I'm a failure compared to Mark Zuckerberg. No, you're not the one that gives the reward or the commendation. It's the one who sent all of you that will give the commendation. Not man, not society, not even your religious leader. It's the one, the maker, that gave you the assignment. So he's the one you are doing it for. So to him, you are a winner. To the society, you might be a loser. Forget about the society. It's not the society that would commend you on that day. It's the one who gave you the assignment, which is God, right? So to him, if you do that assignment, you are a winner. You have won. Only that you won differently from another person, but you are still a winner.
Yes. So we are all winners, but we win differently. You're uniquely gifted.
That's right.
Always remember that you're uniquely gifted. So never trade that for anything. So you can now some people be like, hey, Zion speaks well. Oh, I would love to speak the way Zion. Don't bother. You cannot be Zion. Zion is Zion. Dorcas is Dorcas.
Dorcas, it's only one gift that God gave me. God gave me only one gift. That's speaking.
And you're good.
I am very bad at music. I am bad at dancing. I am bad at football. But I don't get bothered by all of those things. I concentrate on this one gift.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm still peaceful. I'm not saying, oh, but this guy is doing a lot. No, I don't bother myself. I give my best to this one. That when I come on your stage, you know that someone climbed that stage. And I'm not there yet, but I am giving
Yeah.
my best to this one gift that God gave
Yeah.
me. And I'm thankful to Him. I have never complained to God to say, why did you give me only one gift?
Why?
Never. I have
Why?
never, and I will never.
Like you will have just said you want to be Messi and you want to play football, but you can never be Messi. You
I
cannot
might
be
just do them as a
Ronaldo.
hobby. I might just do them as hobbies,
You.
but not as the main assignment. I believe my main assignment is to go and speak, to transform people's minds, and to inspire. And I tell people that say we are just like our lives, our talents could be like onion bulb. You know onion bulb, right? You keep peeling the layers until you
Yeah.
get to the one you
Like
want.
it's
I say at
layered
this
up.
point in my life, I am peeling this layer that I've peeled is that of speaking. Maybe tomorrow, God might say, okay, you have another thing in you. But for this one that I have peeled and I have seen that it's speaking, I am thankful. Okay, I'll go and do it and rest. Once I'm done with this call now, I am fulfilled for today. I'll go and sleep well. I won't wake up and say, hey, I wish Dorcas had called me to sing. Oh, I would have been happy. I'll be thankful to you for giving me this privilege to speak to these people on the call, and I'm fulfilled. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Like, please. You know, when you were just talking, I just thought of strength and weaknesses. It is important to know your
Yeah,
strength. Discover your
that's
strength.
right.
What are you very, very good at? I I remember, I think it was one of Joyce Meyer's book. I can't remember. Is it Confident Woman? Yes. There was something she said that she said,
Okay.
like, you don't have to try. Like, you focus your energy trying to move your 30 to 70, where you could actually focus your energy of moving your 70 to 100,
70
or
to
moving your,
100.
you understand? Like, just focus. And the truth is, do you
Yeah,
know another thing I love about relationship and teams, working in teams? What I don't have might be somebody else's strength. So we complement each
that's
other.
true.
Life is not about
That's right.
competition. We are not
Comparison, not competition.
competing. Like, we are here to shine on each other. And the sky is so wide. We are all
So wide.
stars. And we can
That's true.
shine in our own space. So don't say you have to be it all. If you are good at being it all, congratulations. But if you know you are not good at being it all, just pick that one thing and channel your energy and be the master at it, be good at it, be skilled at it. Like, you know, when they say speaker, I don't used to think, I will not think, I know Zion is a speaker. I know. That's why I brought him. So, you know, when I'm looking for a music star now, I know the people I'll go and call. I'll not even look at his
Don't call me.
direction. I didn't even know.
I will tell you. I'll
let,
think
let
off
me give you,
key.
Zion, let me give you gist so that you will laugh. Let's just take it like,
Okay.
so when I was in school, me, I know I don't know how to sing. So when I was in school, hey,
You
they
have a
said
good
choir
voice.
members. Oh, thank you. But the truth is, I don't know. So they said, choir members were short, that I should come and join choir. So this is that encouraged me. So when I go, I don't even understand. So when I'm singing, this people say, Dorcas, you're missing the key. You're supposed to be singing soprano. I say, what am I singing? They say, they will not say I should move. I will move. These people say, no, you are singing off, move. Then the next thing, you know what they did? They now kept me in the middle. They said, okay, any key you like, take it. I said, I don't know the difference. Anytime I just start singing, I cannot even differentiate the key or the tune. So I just realized, just say, Doctor, just stay in the middle. Don't confuse other people. I said, singing is not my portion. Singing is not my talent. So please allow me. So then we just laugh about it. So I think the next thing, I will tie it to strength and also understanding what you're good at. So the next thing is purpose, discovering purpose. I think Zion has said a lot about that one.
Yeah.
Or do you still want to add something to that, or we should move to the next point? Do you still want to say
Okay. Just
something
let
about
us watch
purpose?
the video, maybe because of so that people don't stay long on the call. But
Yeah,
then, as I said,
yeah,
purpose is something that you really need to discover. And the best way to discover a purpose, maybe you might think I'm not a pastor, but then I will still point you to the truth. Is the person who creates you, if he tell you what you come this world can't do.
yeah,
It's just like a remote control trying to ask someone who is a carpenter, say, what am I supposed to be doing? No. It's the person that manufactured you that would know what
yeah,
you can do. All right. And as
yeah,
I said, God might not speak to you based on maybe you're sleeping in the night and you hear, my son, my son. That is not how I stumbled upon what I'm doing now. But there's this rest in my spirit that I always have whenever I inspire people. So I believe that I'm the purpose of God's will for my life. And even if I'm not there yet, someone asked a question, and that was TD Jakes. His son asked him a question. He said, Daddy, what if after all these things I am doing, I'm here, I am there, I am here, sincerely trying to search what I should be doing, to know what I should be doing. What if at the end of the day, I am not where I should be? What should I do? The father said something very profound. He said, one thing about purpose is this. He said, you might not be where you are, but by the time you keep doing all those things, they will lead you to those things that will lead you to the thing that you should be doing. Just as I said, layers, phases, seasons, layers. We are just moving. We don't know if this is what we should be doing at this time. Just do it. If that's what you know to do, do it. God, who sees your sincerity and knows that, the moment you know that you should be doing another thing, you will do it. He will now begin to say it, drop it, either through someone, you might watch a movie. Like Zileni Annex, for instance, I just stumbled upon that technique in a book.
Wow.
I was reading a particular book. Where is the book? Okay. Look at the book. I was reading this book. Okay, you might not see it. It's called Think Big by Donald Trump.
Okay.
Then Donald Trump was campaigning for the president of the United States, right? It was and I was like, okay, how is this guy? Let me even go and read about this. And then I remember that I had bought. Imagine Donald Trump became the president. Was it not in 2000 and is it 16 thereabouts?
Most recently.
I bought this book in 2012.
Wow. Before he became president.
2012. So I just bought it. I didn't even know I had the book. I just kept buying books. Remember I said I was working the first, but I was just buying books. I didn't know I had even bought it and kept. So it was after almost 5-6 years that this is guy, Donald Trump. Then I went and just opened the book. And then I saw, okay, let me go read it. And it was by reading the book, I thought, okay, wow, I would love to do something like this. That was how Zileni Annex was birthed. Can you see that sometimes it's not God telling you, Dorcas, do this. It could just be, it might point to the direction of a book or a video on YouTube or one of those comedies that you even watch. There could be a message in everything.
Wow.
Don't confine yourself or confine God. He could speak to you through different means. Just be open-hearted, be open-minded. That is how it is. And then it will lead you to that thing one day. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. So we'll move to our next point. Learn to say no. I think we discussed intensively on that. So I will encourage you to go watch the video. So I'll just go to the next point of follow those who know the way. Follow people in your room. Like for me, that was it is important. It seems simple, at the beginning you said simple, like it is simple. We just need to, but sometimes we just think, and the wisdom is not in the simplicity, it's in the complexity.
Yes, that's true.
It is the more difficult it is, the better it is. But that's not true. Like it doesn't work that way. Like sometimes the big wisdoms, the wisdom we so desire, the knowledge we are seeking can be in those simple things, those little things. So Zion is
why did Solomon tell us to learn from the ants? Solomon said we should go and learn from the ants. Can you see? So it means it's the small things of life that teach you the main lesson. If the whole Solomon, the wisest of all, will tell you, go to the ant and learn. It means that don't think the wisdom only comes from elephants or from lions or giraffes. It could also come from ants. I was in while I was going somewhere, I think I was going, it was still within New Jersey town in the US, and I boarded this train. And somehow, because I kind of, by the time the train stopped, I didn't know that I was not supposed to sit in a particular coach. I was supposed to sit in a coach that would easily take me to the exit gate once the train stopped. I didn't know, so I just went and sat anywhere. And so when the train stopped, how the US, everything is timed. Before I walked to the exit door, the train had closed and it was already moving to the next terminal. So I just followed the train, and then I saw a particular guy who also missed the exit door at that moment, but then he knew where to stop at and then how to navigate his way back. As I was just standing by him, I just knew he too had missed his way. I said, but at least he knows past me. I stood with him. As soon as we got to the next terminal, he disembarked, I also disembarked. He went through the subway, I followed him. He sat to wait for the next train that will go backwards because we had passed it, right? I sat with him. As soon as the train came, we both boarded the train together. When we got to our destination, he went his way, I went my way. He did not show my face who showed me the road, but I was wise to know that this guy know road. Make I follow him. And it was later I learned from that. I said, okay, I did not sit down in the right coach. It means not every coach is for you. Did that sink in? Not every mentor is for you. There is a mentor, it's not means for you. I did not sit down in the right coach. So not every coach is for you.
Yeah.
Find the right coach for yourself and then follow that person that knows the road.
Yeah.
Simple.
So I think the way I like to put it is know your tribe. Find your tribe. Everybody has a tribe. So find the members of your tribe.
This on a deeper level. It's on a deeper level. They will say, you mean that the first person they speak Yoruba? I mean Hausa. So explain, no. It's a tribe.
Hey. I should not have dropped it, no. So when I'm talking about tribe, I'm not even talking about language, no.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Met a group of people that when you just meet them, you just connect. It feels as if you have been together forever. There is a spark.
That's right.
Like you just know, you people could easily conclude each other. Like you could easily conclude each other's sentences. Like you people share a lot of things in common. Your value, your direction, your drive. That is your drive. Like there are always those kind of people. They are everywhere. Like sorry, I need to correct it. You don't find them everywhere, but they exist.
Don't find them everywhere.
They don't.
Yeah, they exist.
Find them everywhere, but they exist. So find those people. Those people that you could easily connect with. Like when you people just when you just fix it, you just click. You people just click. That is your tribe. I'm not saying it's Igbo, Yoruba, that's not it. You just you need to understand those people that you people share a lot in common. I remember when I was having this conversation about networking, and I remember I was encouraging people. I said, you know, sometimes to find people that you share similar values. I said there are some conferences that you're interested in. If you go for those conferences, see, people that are not interested in that thing that you're interested in, you will never find them in that conference. But when you go for such meetings, there are some meetings you will go to that you'll find people with similar passion, similar drive, similar interests, similar values in those meetings. So in those places, you find your tribe, you find people and you connect with those people. So it is very, very important. No, it is not all mentors that are your mentors. It's not all coaches that are your coaches. So it is very important. So we are moving. So I think this is going to be the last point we were taking. It has really been super amazing conversation with Zion. Giving is living. Giving is living. Like, it's very powerful, Zion. That's powerful.
It's a fundamental principle that works everywhere. All right. It's a fundamental principle that works everywhere. And it's so funny how God has established that principle that let me say this way so that I don't sound, but let me sound blunt as I can be, even though I'm trying to be mild. Whether you are a wicked person, whether you are an atheist, okay, let me use the word atheist, you don't even believe that God exists, you would receive, you will be blessed if you're a giver.
Yeah.
It's as fundamental as that. It's just the same way heat is the same in Kano, it's the same in Lagos, it's the same in China. Gravity is the same in China, it's the same in Russia, it's the same in Germany. It's a universal law.
Yeah.
Giving is a universal law of life. A lot of people, they do other things, they engage in other things, and then you wonder why. Okay, yes, other things you are making progress, but in this area, you are still lacking. They are still complaining that the food is not enough. They are still, because they always want to collect. Why do you find beggars on the street? They've been beggars on that street for 5, 10, 15 years. Why has nothing changed? Because they think that for them, receiving is living. But look at their life now. They're still beggars. Why not change the switch? Why not flip the switch and say, okay, no, why not now I stand up from this, my seat, whether I might look disabled, but who says disabled people must be beggars?
Yeah.
Who says because you are a disabled person, the next thing to do is to go on the street and beg? We have seen disabled people who are giving of their talent, of their skills, and even in their disabled states, as we call them disabled, or even though they are called differently abled, they are touching the world, they are traveling around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Siko Bams Asuko is visually impaired, but he's traveling around the world. And we have a
Yeah.
lot of them like that. So
Yeah.
you can get out of that lack by saying, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
may not have it all, but this little I have, I'm going to give out to someone.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm the best giver. No, I'm not even close. But I love. As I said, I made a covenant, a vow, that any money that comes to my hand, I must take out of it and give to someone. One of the ways this is what it just dropped in my mind some days ago. It dropped in my mind that yes, I know we give in our religious centers, and that's very good. But what dropped my spirit is that another way to give is to give to those who God loves. So the man on the streets who is a pauper or a madman, God still loves that man.
Mm-hmm.
If you give to that man, you have also given to God.
Yeah.
Because if I don't give money to you, but I give money to your mom that you love, you will still be grateful. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
You would want
I
to look
will.
for a way to reciprocate. Why? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving to someone that you love. That is the same way. So yes, we give in religious centers, beautiful. But what about now sharing with those who may not be in those religious centers, but we know God loves them as well? We say, take. And God says, oh, for you giving to someone I love, I will reciprocate. And you cannot outgive God. God gives you 1
Mm-hmm.
million, you take out 100,000 or 500,000, you give out to people. He will give you 1 billion. You take out 500 million, he will give you 10 billion. You cannot outgive him. And but this is what happens. You are not just giving because God gives me back if I give. No, there's something that happens when you give. There is this joy. There is this fulfillment. Number one, it takes care of greed. It eliminates your greed. It helps you not to hold possession so tightly. A lot of people, their lives, they hold everything. They don't want to release things. Their hands are so like this. They hold tightly to anything material. No, but giving helps you to tell you that, no, what, even if I don't get this in tomorrow, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. So your peace is not based on what is outside. Your
Mm-hmm.
joy, your peace is not just based on the fact that you helped to make someone smile.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life. For the fact that, okay, someone has smiled because of me. That's okay. Yesterday, I was just coming. I needed to get bread. And so when I bought a particular bread for myself and my wife, I just said, okay. I just remember a security man, not even in my own household, because I have a security man, but then he had not resumed his duty. There's a security man in the next building. And he had just called me to come and do something downstairs to just, okay. So when I was buying it, I just called him and I gave it to him. I just gave him his own bread. Now, it might look small, but I'm sure I made his night just yesterday.
Yeah. You
That
did.
alone just gives you this peace of mind that, okay, I've blessed someone today. Not because I expect him to give me anything tomorrow, no. But there's this, it's just parts of what we should inculcate in all our life. Every day of your life, you should be asking yourself, what have I given out today that would make someone smile, that would make someone's life better, that will add value to someone? And then you find that you are truly living. You are truly living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're just talking in my head, I was just like, see, God has not called us to be containers. He has called us to be channels. Like
That's
everything
right.
you receive must flow from you to others.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and it's just that there's this selfish nature of humans. You just want to be collecting, you want to be gathering, gather. Hello, how many can you consume? How many can you
How
feed?
many? How much?
How many? You know, I don't want to say it, but I will say it, baby. You know, sometimes when they say they discovered money somewhere, like they discover money somewhere, and the money has decayed or is rot, and the only thing of like
Exactly.
somebody,
Rotten.
the only thing I just said was some people died in the hospital because they cannot afford the hospital bills. Some people,
Of 2,000, maybe some people 2,000.
yeah. So, some
I had a
people
friend who
slept
lost his
hungry.
brother because he could not afford 2,000 naira medication. I have a friend, he's a friend of mine. He lost his brother a few years ago because he could not afford 2,000 naira medication.
Like, and you have spread the love. Like, what do you have that you have not received? Like, what do you have really that you've not received? I know the another way you just want to be receiving. My mentor said we should do an exercise, and it's also funny. Just say, just stay, just be breathing it, be breathing it. Don't breathe out. Don't
Take all,
don't be taking it
take all
in.
the oxygen, take all.
Take all the oxygen. Don't breathe out. So just take it up. Can you survive that way? You must just give, just release. No, so you just need to understand that you are channels. Like we are all channels. You give.
That's right.
Giving is living. Wow, we said a lot. Thank you so much, Zion. Like it has really, I think, I don't know that I really dragged somebody for this long. I just
For
checked
this
it. I
long,
was like, hey, yeah, so I just
what,
checked the
two
time and I
hours?
said, hey,
This is
yes, I just
2 hours.
checked the time. I was like, Zion asked me, I told you it's 1 hour, 15 minutes. I just checked the time and I
Oh,
was just
God.
enjoying the conversation. But it has really, really been, like, I've learned a lot from you. It has really,
I
really been
appreciate
a very, very
it.
insightful conversation. This is what I call transformational. Like, there's always this aspect of your life that you could just pick this lesson and apply. So this is 2023 and we are still in January. So please, let's be intentional about some of the things we do. So I'll just do the usual. We have a lot of comment. Can you see the comment from your end?
Okay, I can see that of Benita Samuel. They are scrolling up, but I can't see all. I just saw that
Yeah,
of okay, Benita. Benita is a very good friend of mine. I just saw.
like there are a
I
lot
think
of
she's been
comments.
following.
Yes.
Yes, I can't read. I can't see all from my end. I just saw Ikena's owner. You know Ikena. Ikena is one of us, right? Giving
Yeah.
eliminates greed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's true.
Kurusi also
That's
talked
true.
about he has
Kurutsi,
learned so
okay.
much. Yeah, Kurusi is also one of us. He's the
Yeah,
power
sure, Joshua.
guy. Yeah. So there are a lot of comments here. I think I'm seeing. Okay, let me just try and see if I could just do like a quick one. Purpose. Purpose help us define our focus. I am learning a lot. I'm learning to say no. I think that's from Benetta. You can, oh God, this is not so clear. I think I cannot see it because of reflection. Okay, I'll try and you can politely say no to any question that you're not comfortable with. When you're afraid to ask for help, yeah, it might take. I think there are a lot of comments. So I'm so sorry. I cannot, it's not so clear from my end because of the reflection of your light. So the reflection of your light is, yeah, so it's also, I cannot really read it. So, but it has really, really been like a very, very insightful conversation with you. I can see Ramat. Ramat is also one of our fellows at K-State. Ramat, hi. And so let me just do a quick recap. Okay, Zion has said a lot, but I'll be very fast. Lesson number 1, what you live in people is much better than what you live for people. Lesson number 2, gratitude. Lesson number 3, we don't always get what we want. It does not make us failure or life unfair. It's just time and chance. Lesson number 4, in life we all win, but we win differently. Please, one, and do you know the beautiful thing about this point? It is how we use football to explain it. It's very sweet. Lesson number 5, you have to discover purpose. Lesson number 6, learn to say no. Lesson number 7, follow those who know the way. In Nigerian English, follow person wey no road. Lesson number 8, yes. Lesson number 8, giving is living. Lesson number 9, you only know what you alone, you. Now you know wetin you want. You alone know exactly what you want. Others are just guessing. Number 10, this is the powerhouse. Go passionately for knowledge. It has really, really been a very, very insightful conversation with you, Zion. I think I've drank. I don't drink plenty. Like, I said, I told you, I said, we are coming to draw from you. I think I've drawn and I've drank a lot. Thank you so much for sharing, and pouring out your heart for us. Thank you. The Lord bless you. Thank you. Thank you. I
Amen.
appreciate you, Lord.
Thank you so
Yeah, I
much,
appreciate you.
D.
So do you have final words for us?
Yeah, just in 2023, just work towards being a VIP. We call VIP very important personality. But in this VIP, V is, keep adding value to yourself so that you can also give out value. I try to make impacts on someone out there, positive impacts.
Wow.
There's always an impact you can make on
I
someone
think
out
I'll
there.
write this
And
one. I think I'll write
finally,
it.
the P is purpose, of course. I will not end without saying purpose. Just Be
purposeful.
purposeful,
Yeah.
be intentional about your life. Yeah. So V, value, I, impact, and P, purpose. Once you can have this VIP, then you become a VIP. Thank you.
Yeah. If you can deliver on VIP, you yourself, you become a
You
VIP.
become
So I think
VIP. Hi,
yes.
because you know how to put it best.
Ah, yay!
Very soon
Please,
I'll have you on my own session. I will tell us life lessons with Z, not D again to be Z.
please, anyway, thank you so much to everyone that joined me. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope it has been of great value for your time. Like it has really been an exciting not exciting, insightful, not exciting. This one, not be happy, not be fun. It has been insightful conversation with Zion. Zion. So Zion is the president of Z Learning Annex, and it is based in Kano. But the beautiful thing about it is, I think they do a lot of streaming. They stream their programs
Yeah,
too.
yes.
Yeah.
I
So
also have to resume it on I resume on the 20th of this month.
okay. Oh, you people are still
20th
already.
of
See,
this month.
they enjoy. They see the rest.
Well,
They
we're
need to
having on the
restart.
13th, we're having our leaders and volunteers meeting. So I want to just have a preparatory class for our leaders and volunteers on 13th, which
Oh,
is on Friday, then against our resumption on the 20th.
okay. So they
So that
have
we can serve people better.
better. So the beautiful thing is, regardless of where you're located, you could also
Yeah.
connect to some of their programs online.
Yeah.
Is very active on Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't know about Instagram, but I can ask him. Are you
I did
active on
try.
Instagram? You did try.
Yeah. I did
Okay,
try. I
so
did
you
post
can.
all those small pictures, but at LinkedIn, Facebook, you can always find me
Yeah,
there.
LinkedIn, Facebook. So please, you could always
Yes.
connect with him on LinkedIn, Facebook. If you want to take this conversation further, I encourage you to do so. Connect with Zion, connect with Z Learning Annex, and I
Annex.
like Annex. Like you know that your life is about to be changed forever. And guess what? You don't even need to be in person. You can volunteer with them virtual. We have remote volunteers today. So any
Yeah.
opportunity to give back, any opportunity to learn, to sharpen your skills, don't take that for granted. Explore such opportunities. It is very, very important. And this is where we draw the curtains this evening. I am Dr. Elisha, your super amazing host, and my super amazing guest. So your name?
Zion Emmanuel Obeten.
Yeah, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.